Hello everyone. I'm standing up. Maybe I'm too tall, but not everyone can see me from there. I think I have one bad news and one good news. The bad news is that we're done with the videos. The good news is the guy in the video, the Sundeep show, is still live and kicking, right? How many of you are familiar, are convinced about social entrepreneurship? Come on. Well, almost everyone. Okay. So my job is pretty much done. I thought that coming here in the heart of the city, we had to convince much more many people than this. But no, what can I add? Well, first of all, maybe just a couple of words on myself, not because I have a big ego and I want to talk about myself, but because very little people know me here. So, well, basically, as you introduced me, I worked as a banker, actually working in one of those buildings until 2007. I was working for Goldman, and then at a certain point I decided to quit. I crossed the whole South America by bicycle, and when I came back I decided to become a social investor or social banker or whatever you want to call it. And one of the best things that could have happened is that recently Stefano asked me to join the board of Opes Fund, which means that basically I pay my dues, and now he doesn't consider me a posh guy anymore, and he wants to because he has a long tradition in fair trade, so he's the real guy coming from the field of the banker. But you see that the two words now kind of commit together and walk on the same path. And I think that is the important thing about Opes and all these initiatives and impact investing as well. You know, is the thing that you can merge these two words. So finance that you have out there, you can convert part of it into good stuff, and at the same time have the NGO work coming over and doing business. It's difficult to put these words together. What we're trying to do with Opes, I'll just show you one slide, maybe number 14.
Number 14?
Yes, of the presentation that he was using before. Otherwise, if you don't find it, it's not a big deal. So, what is Opes about? First of all, Opes is a donors fund. Don't worry about this, guys. Okay, 14, if possible.
A pasta?
No, you go.
1-4?
1-4, yeah.
No, 1-4, but this.
It's in a
No, okay,
different
so we can go on and on.
different.
Go on, next one. Before, this one. So, what is Opes? Opes is a donors fund, first of all. So, it is embedded in a foundation. That means that we get donations. So, we don't aim to give the money back to investors. But on the asset side of the fund, we do invest the capital. And we invest the capital in a way that we want to make sustainable. So basically Opes is made of social entrepreneurs like Sundeep and people like him. We want to invest in social businesses, but when we did the study about the market, actually my company does advisory on impact investing to large foundations, private banks, etc. So we are very clear what is the landscape out there of funds, of instruments, securities, etc. We found out that most of the market, most of the products, most of the investors are focused on the right-hand side of the graph that you see there. So you probably know a lot of the names there. Most of the people want to invest in the scale part. They want to invest in the growth part, the private equity, while very little money goes to the validate and blueprint. So that's why we wanted Opes to be there. Basically, the goal is to find out the business models of the future. So the ones that can grow and can escalate to the level that we all aim. That's the big challenge. So if you look at impact investing today, I think there are just a couple of business models that are really working and really got to scale. The first one is microfinance. With all the criticism that everyone may have about microfinance, it proved to be scalable. So that's the good thing about it. Access to finance. That's sort of the problem. It goes global. 10,000 institutions doing it. The other one is coming up, is emerging pretty strongly, is fair trade. That's also a very good and scalable business model. But if you look at sanitation, if you look the healthcare business, if you look at education, well, quite honestly, if I told you that we have identified scalable businesses that have already scaled to, I don't know, 5, 10 million people around the globe, I would be lying. So that's what we want to do. discover talents and innovators like Sandeep in his field and in other fields, and give them the money and also the technical assistance to grow, and have business model that can be grown from India to Sub-Saharan Africa, and maybe one day also to the UK or Italy, because I see that with this market situation, actually it's a big need of those things here as well. So that's the aim of the fund. And the reason why we do not actually want to give the money back and we take donations, at least in the beginning, then probably maybe in the second phase we'll find out how to actually transform it into a proper fund. Is the reason is really that today this is very pioneering. So, you know, I'm not saying it's a bet because it's done in a proper way, in a proper investment way, but we know that we are risking a lot when we invest in the capital. So that's why we are not promising the returns that you may see from some other of the funds out there, because we know what we are doing, and we know that investing in this business today, it is risky. So if we promised a 10%, a 20% back, on one side probably we will stress too much the structure, so we will ask Sandeep and the other social entrepreneurs, you know, to push too much, to pay people too little, to provide the cures at too high cost, etc., etc. And on the other side, we will probably, you know, I don't want to say lying to investors, but you know, providing probably a different picture of what it is. Then when you're talking about growth capital, that's different, because if you invest in his firm probably in 5 years, well, that's proven. That's a different thing. But that's the reason why we wanted to make Opus Donald's fund in the beginning. That's what I wanted to say, basically.
Thank you very much.
So we're open to questions.